Hi, I'm following along with Paul McWhorter's Raspberry Pi Pico lessons, and we're on 63. And Paul's getting into object-oriented programming in classes. Um, it- I had learned classes back when I was doing Arduino and learned Python classes from Paul when we were doing VPython. He had several lessons on uh, using classes, got comfortable with them back then. So this is sort of a review. I don't use them as much as I should. Just don't need them in the short programs that we've been writing. But it's fun to get back into it. So let's get to our Thorny and just show how I approach the homework of getting comfortable with classes again. So uh, like I said, I know Paul was trying to show methods, class methods, so he had all the methods for doing that. But in the end, toward the end of the video, he was just making instance variables out of them, out of just calling the methods to create instance variables. So I just left out the methods and just you can create the instance variables by just using what you have here, your length and width to do your calculations for your perimeter, area, and diagonal. And then you just don't need any method. You don't have to have methods when you're doing classes. So we're just you got to have the initial an init method is I guess is the one you do need. But so we just I just created um, these length and width, of course. Probably didn't even need to do those because we're not using them in our homework, but I did create them. And but you can use your variables up here, just short, just as easy to use that. You could have put self dot length and self dot width down here, but you already have them, so you might as well use them. Anyhow, so that's what I was doing, and so just to show that we do it, I'm just creating um, instance of a rect, and it's passing the length and the width 3 and 4. Um, Instead of having a bunch of print statements, I'm just using this multi-line F string here. If you put a F and then 3 quote marks and finish off with 3 quote marks, when you put in line feeds or enters to go to the next line, it'll show up when you uh, run your code. And of course, F strings, Paul's taught us about F strings before, where um, you can, just kind of put these curly braces on here and you can put your uh, variables inside here. So you can also, since we create the R1 rect, we can just say R1 perimeter, R1 area, R1 diagonal, then we're good to go. And you can already see I ran it once, but we'll run it again just to show that it runs. And just going to print the same thing and going to print that. And then perimeter equals 14, area 12, and diagonal 5.0. So that's basically, just getting comfortable with it. But the power of classes, as Paul pointed out, is that you can have many, many rectangles and keep track of them. So I actually have a second program here where we're creating using the same class, but we're creating a bunch of rectangles. So um, since I'm appending down here, I had to create a blank empty list called Rex. But here I just have a list of tuples with the length and the width of each one in here. And like I said, you can use integers or you can use floating point numbers together with ints, or you can use them separate. And you can make that list or whatever you want to do as long as you wanted to. And then I just went through this part here, and you can pull apart a tuple by saying that you want two variables to come out of it. So this this tuple is the variable, but we can get the L and the W broke out of this, the 3 and the 4 for this one. So we can use it directly in our uh, uh, call for our rect here. So we're just saying that we're creating a list of rectangle objects, rect objects, and kind of cool that we're doing that. So we're creating 4 different rect objects, a list of, and they're in a list. So we got that. And and then that creates them. So you have access to all these for each one of those. And so you can't really, as they're list objects, you can't really do it, but you can go for R, which is a rectangle, in recs. So we can step through this list that we created, recs list that we created, and pull out each rect object. And I'll actually show that so that when you do that, maybe I'll put it up here first. So I forgot I wanted to do this. So I usually don't code on the screen, but just going to print, and we're just going to print the recs, or ECTS. That's our list that we got up here. And you'll see that it's a list of objects, and it'll print out that it's a list of objects. But anyhow, when we do that, then we can, like I say, we can step through all the recs objects, and we can do this F print. And here I am using the length and the width because I'm, instead of for on the last one, I just said hard coded 3x4 rectangle. Now I can say for a length times width rectangle, then we can figure out the perimeter for each one of these. So we're going to through one of these. But like I say, the first thing we'll print out is the list of recs. So, but it's going to print everything out here. And I hope it works. And it does. But you can see up here, this is the first thing we're printing out is our recs. And it's just, you can see it's a list that we're doing. And it's just a rect object at such and such. And then it's a rect object at such and such, a rect object such and such, and a rect object is, so our 4 rect objects there. So then, like I said, when we, that list, we can now step through it and we're getting the things. So our first one was 3x4. So for a 3x4 rectangle, our perimeter is that, our area is that, and our diagonal is that. Next one's a 1 and a 5. For a 1 and 5 rectangle, our perimeter, our area, and our diagonal. And for the next one, it's there, and then the next one. So our, we can have as many rectangles as you want, or as many as your memory can hold, I guess, is what you're doing. I'm actually running off of the local Python 3. I'm not using the PicoW right now. I'm just running the local Python, which is kind of cool that you can do regular Python in here. You don't have to go to your Visual Studio Code or anything. You can run. So you got plenty of memory, plenty of memory. You can create as many rectangles as you want in here. And in VPython, I know that I was playing around in that. That's where you have used Python to create a visual, 3D visual things on the screen. And uh, we were creating 100 objects on the screen and just, you know, maybe having them move or something. And of course, that was, like I said, you were just, you know, had the whole power of your PC behind that, or whatever computer you use. And so, yeah, you probably wouldn't want to maybe have too many rectangles if you're dealing with it on the PicoW. But anyhow, that's my homework, just short and sweet. I know Paul's going to get it more into probably how we have classes and how we can create our own libraries with that. So I'm going to let him won't steal his thunder on teaching that. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Have a great day.